Hi guys, it's Amy here. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be taking some discontinued UK foods and remaking them in 2026. So I'm quite excited for this. Let's go. Okay, I just want to start by stating that I am actually really excited for this video because I don't know if it is the same for anybody else, but I randomly go through a phase sometimes where I hyperfixate on nostalgia, and a lot of that does include UK discontinued foods. And I just want to say that these foods are going to be specifically from my personal childhood. Bear in mind, I am only 18, born in 2007, so I don't know if you would class these as newer discontinued foods or not, but yeah. And visually, I'm going to try and get them to look as similar to the original thing as possible. Because what I mean is I am a vegan, so they might not taste exactly the same as they did when I was a kid. Because obviously when I was a kid, I wasn't a vegan, so these products are not vegan friendly. But I'm going to remake them vegan now. So the 5 foods I have picked are the discontinued McDonald's Chicken Legend, Fabulous Bacon Boys Chocky Cupcakes, and I've picked these because from what I can recall, these were some of my favourites as a kid. And if you would like me to do a part 2 of this series, I can turn it into a series where I can do some of your guys' suggested foods. I would willingly do that actually. But yes, without further ado, let's get into the video. Just a brief disclaimer, I'm not a chef, I can't cook. So hopefully these foods don't come out horribly. But yeah, let's get into the video. Okay, so we are on the way to the shop now, but let me just mention some things. Number 1, I can't work out if it's raining or not. So I've got my hood up because it feels like it's raining, but it also doesn't feel like it's raining. It doesn't make sense. Number 2, it's so cold. I put on a short sleeve shirt because it looked nice. It's got my favourite brand on it, which is McFly, and I was like, oh, this is great. Didn't realise how cold it would be. Now I'm freezing, and I can't tell if it's raining again because it's spitting, but it's also not really raining. So I might get my umbrella out in a second just to be safe, because I've got a 40-minute walk to the shop and I do not wish to get wet. So we are going to start with the Chicken Legend. Just for a few facts, so the Chicken Legend was a burger from McDonald's that was versatile to the UK. It was discontinued in 2022, and I believe it was actually discontinued for the McCrispy. I don't know why they would do that. The Chicken Legend was so much better than the McCrispy. Now, it had 3 versions. You could either get barbecue, cool mayo, or spicy mayo. And I'm pretty sure at one point we did have a version of the burger that included bacon, but I don't know how long that lasted. I don't really remember that version. So how to make the Chicken Legend is you get 200, well, however many grams you want actually of tofu, but the size of tofu will depend on how big your filling is basically. So in a bowl you mix together the corn flour, the regular flour, and all of the herbs and spices. Just to point out, the baking powder was just there, you don't actually use it. At the end of this segment I will show you the actual recipe. Once you've added it all in, you then add in your milk. I am using oat milk. Essentially you mix those all together to make a mixture, and then you dunk your tofu in it, and then you dunk tofu in the breadcrumb amount that you have. I didn't show the process because it was a bit confusing. Now you are supposed to put the tofu in fillet shapes. I've only made 3 fillet shapes, and then the other 3 are just I don't even know. Then you place them in your oven for about 25 minutes. Ignore that, I think that's next door. Also ignore the state of my tray. I have ordered a new one online because this one is kind of buggered. Then you either wait to toast your bread or you do it then. But if you do it then, expect the bread to be a little bit harder when you actually have the tofu cooked. But if you do like it a little bit crispier, then toast it there and then. The only downside we've got is I've just realised that I don't have lettuce and I only have cabbage. So we're going to have to make it with cabbage, but just pretend it's lettuce. Now, no matter which version you got, the salady bits were the same. The only thing that varied was the sauce option. If they ever brought this back, I hope they would do what the Netherlands do. Because basically, for those that don't know, for the first time I went abroad by myself back in November, and I went to the Netherlands, and they do a chickenless sensation, which, while it's not the same as the Chicken Legend, it reminded me a lot like the Chicken Legend, but it was a meatless version. And I don't know if it was exclusive for Christmas or whether they have that all year round. But I feel like we need more vegan and vegetarian options at McDonald's in the UK. This is the burger, and while you can tell that it's not the same as a Chicken Legend, you can see where it's got that kind of Chicken Legend-esque vibe, if that makes any sense. Now, it would never compare to our beloved Chicken Legend, to be fair, but this was actually really nice, may I add. So if it is still there and you ever are in the Netherlands, go and get this. And I also tried a chickenless McCroquet while I was there, if you guys want to know. I didn't actually get a photo of that one because I was actually with one of my friends when we ate that. It was before we went to Het Groot Song Festival. Anyway, I did get a photo of this one. I got one of their adult Happy Meals because at the time it was for Friends and I love that TV show. And this is a meatless chicken burger. It's basically like, you know, the mayo chicken, but without mayo. And obviously meatless. But you couldn't even tell that it was meatless, to be fair. And I got it with a cherry Coke Zero. Why do we not do that in England? This menu made the UK menu genuinely look so boring. I'm not being funny. McDonald's, fix your game, because what the actual heck? Okay, so these are the ingredients you need for the Chicken Legend. That's what it's called. I nearly forgot what it was called then. And when I say optional for flavour, those are the flavours that were used on the McDonald's edition. But if you don't like those flavours or you don't care about it being exact, you don't actually have to use them. Now, obviously, you need to make all of these ingredients vegan. You can go on supermarket websites and type in the food and then put the dietary restriction as vegan, and it will tell you which brands are vegan and stuff. And here is the method. I tried to simplify it as much as possible because, to be honest, the method that I actually followed was very confusing. They made a load of steps that were just not needed. But I tried to make it in simpler terms because this is how I viewed it in my head. This is basically the exact recipe I used when I made mine. Just don't do what I did and get halfway through the recipe and realise that you only prepared one bowl. So you had to go and wash some dishes. But it's okay. Hopefully this is quite easy to follow. If it doesn't make sense and you have any questions, you can let me know in the comments below. Obviously as well, I do just want to mention that I am not a chef, but I am trying to teach myself how to cook more at home. So if anybody has any good people's recipes they follow that would be easy to understand, then please let me know. Because I'm trying to make it my mission from now on to cook every meal at home rather than buying pre-made stuff. Also, can I just say, waiting for this to cook, for some reason, felt like the longest 25 minutes of my entire life. I don't know what was going on, but it just felt like the time would never go by. So, this is the finished product. It actually looks a lot better than what I expected it to look like. The only issue with mine is I actually did use too much tofu. I used 100 grams and I probably only needed about 40 or 50. So what I did is I used the rest of the tofu and a little bit of extra lettuce, and I just made a tofu lettuce wrap to put on the side because I didn't want the tofu to go to waste. So here is the final comparison between McDonald's Chicken Legend and my Chicken Legend, and honestly I wouldn't actually say they look far from each other, to be fair. Considering I can't cook, and I know it's only a basic sandwich, but I'm actually pretty proud of myself. Okay, the next food we have is Fabulous Baking Boys chocolate cupcakes, and I don't really know why these were discontinued. They were kind of just discontinued when the brand had a rebranding, and these just left with it. But they were just basically a normal sponge cake with chocolate icing, but it had such a unique taste that it was perfect, and no matter how much anybody tries to remake them, they just will never ever taste the same. Okay, this is actually my attempt at the Fabulous Baking Boys cupcakes. I've realised I actually forgot to film me making them. Also, I didn't realise they weren't actually cocoa flavoured and they just had chocolate icing, so that's why they are brown. Oops. No, because what the fuck? Why have I done this? And they are crispy. Hello? I might have forgot to add an ingredient in. Hello? I don't know if you can tell, but they look like cake underneath these like top layers. I don't know what the hell has happened. Okay, so this is them side by side. Mine came out really dark, and for some reason the sponge, like cakey part of mine, also came out like brown. I don't know how that happened. As you can tell, I can't bake. So the actual thing definitely looks better than mine. Mine looked burnt. I don't know why, because they weren't burnt. They actually tasted good. So I don't know why they look like that. Like, I really don't understand. I mean, I did leave them in the oven, like mid-cooking. Like, I had to turn the oven off mid-baking because I had to go to the shop. So that could be why they came out a bit hard. So next time, I'll try to just cook them normally and see if that actually makes a difference. Because it might do, you know. I just want to say, the recipe that I used says that it makes 10 cupcakes, but I used pretty much all the same size ingredients, and I was able to make 4 of them. I think I made 4, or I might have even made 5, to be honest. The only thing I did do is, for only making 1, you're only supposed to use 18 millilitres of the milk, and I actually used, by accident, I used 50 because the milk that I used was a new carton and it exploded, so that might be why I made more. I mean, that alone doesn't explain why they came out crispy, but, you know, it's okay. I actually ended up eating these for a breakfast because this particular day I was really busy, so I didn't actually have the time to make an extravagant breakfast, so I just had these kind of on the go. Like, when I say busy, I mean we literally left the house at 8:30 and didn't get home until like 2 p.m. Like, it was crazy. In regards to the recipe, it's actually simpler than the Chicken Legend. All you do is basically mix all the ingredients together to make a batter, and then you put it in the oven for 20 minutes. That is genuinely all you do. It's quite simple. This is the type of recipe that you can make with, I don't know, who watches my videos, with your sibling or with your child if you're an adult. Like, this is the type of recipe that I would have made with my sister a couple of years ago. And now my sister's not the type of person to like baking anymore, but I love baking. I literally bake and cook all the time now. But, yeah, so I don't know why mine came out burnt. I'm still confused. The thing is, I know they weren't burnt, really, because they didn't taste that burnt. They were just a bit crispier. Anyways, guys, that is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. Normally, I would do more foods in one video, but money was tight this week. But I get paid next week, so it's fine. If you have any other food suggestions and you want me to do a part 2, then let me know. But like, comment and subscribe if you would like to, and I will see you next time.